Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing decent. How was your morning?
My morning was good. I was helping a buddy move. So right before we started recording, I was telling you that I'm physically tired, mentally not so much, but hopefully I'll be able to keep my energy levels high. I'm caffeinating actively right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
This is my nap time in the day. This is when my body always winds down. Like 4 o'clock for me is just like circadian wise. I always like get sleepy at this period. Mm-hmm. But we're gonna push through because we care about the listeners.
Exactly. Yes.
And we skipped last week.
We did skip last week. Yeah, we ended up chatting just off air. We just had a whole bunch of stuff that we were catching up on, but at least for me, a good chunk of my stuff I couldn't really couldn't publicize just yet. So, but it was good to catch up. And sometimes we got to just take a furlough week. So,
Are you going to talk about some of that stuff this week?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
I saw an awesome talk yesterday, by the way. Farhan, the VP of engineering at Shopify, gave a talk about pair programming at SaaStr, and I happened to catch it, and it was great. Like it reminded me of why I think pairing is great and like why pairing is actually good. And it was funny because like in the day-to-day running and making of Tuple, I've kind of like lost sight of some of that original like motivation where it was like, yeah, pairing is a wonderful force for good in our industry. And it was just awesome to see someone like making a case for it well and be like, oh yeah, I agree with all this. It's such a good thing to have. I'm feeling excited about pairing today.
That's good. Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm sure that was a nice little like unintentional plug for Tuple then as he was kind of explaining the merits of pairing, right?
He actually explicitly plugged us a few times, which I very much appreciate, which is very cool. But that was nice for sure. And the thing that stood out to me was just like, I got amped. I was like, yeah, pairing is great. And today, Joel was asking me, he's like, hey, Joel's part of a mastermind now. And he was like, oh, I want to do a presentation to my mastermind about like Tuple and like what our status is, like some context and where we're going and our plans and all this. He's like, do you have like a written thing I can share with them? And I was like, kind of no, actually. And that seems kind of wrong. Like, where's the Tuple master plan doc or like who we are and what we care about? And so I spent a little time this afternoon just like starting to write this document and thinking about a mission that's something like increasing the amount of pair programming in the world really got me excited. Like the excitement from yesterday was carrying over, and I was like, this actually, I really do actually think this is a really, really positive thing that I would like to increase the amount of in the world. And it helped this sort of, this resonate with me.
Yeah, that's cool to have we have to be honest with ourselves that, a lot of us are not building companies that are necessarily like changing the world in a classical like startup-y sense of like, we're going to try to cure cancer or something like of that magnitude. But it's also worth remembering that, we're improving a small corner of the world, hopefully by building good tools and pouring all this energy into it. It's not a purely just selfish, like accruing revenue type of pursuit. It's like, no, we actually are pouring a lot of energy into these tools. So it's kind of cool to be able to define like a mission, even if it's not like curing cancer.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. Like I wouldn't say like increasing pairing in the world is like my life's purpose. But it's at the same time, it's a cause I very much believe in. And I have a personal connection to it where like this was a big turning point in my career, came from pairing regularly with somebody and has led to like such a growth for me. It's nice that it feels like it's resonating right now.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. So thanks, Farhan. Since we've talked, we had an all hands, which has been fun to do. And we had 6 people at the all hands. And like it keeps blowing me away, where it's like, who are these other people? Like a company is forming oddly around us.
You've had a person to help with customer support, is that right? And
exactly, support, sales, and then development. So we hire in each of those areas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Building a real company, man.
Yeah, and like honestly, like I'm working on job descriptions for a couple other roles, and like it's TBD if we're like gonna for sure post them yet, or like exactly what the pace is for hiring these people. There's 2 or 3 other things we could potentially hire for, and it wouldn't be crazy, and we could do it. And then we're flirting with like almost double-digit number of people that work at Tuple, and it's like, wow, that's crazy.
What was the kind of loose agenda for this all hands? celebrating wins, getting people on the same page about stuff, roadmap? What did it look like?
It was basically 4 sort of major pieces. The first was celebrations. I think we actually spent the most time here. I went through the various areas of the company and saying like, what's good things that happen in like ops and sales and engineering and marketing and just like general business stuff. And then also invited other people to contribute their own things. Like, anybody else have any like exciting things that happened? And a few more things came up, which is great. Next section was kind of alignment is the word for it. Although I feel like this kind of needs some rework. This was maybe the weakest part of the call, I think, which is just like, where are we right now? Where do we want to go? I think we did okay with this, but it sort of felt like the least inspiring or something. It might need some improvement, but we'll see. And then Q&A, open the floor. Anybody that wants to ask anything. And then lessons learned. So being like, how was this? What should we change for next time? What's good about it? That kind of thing. Just like last time, kept it moving really fast. I think that's like a kind of a key part of it. People keep saying they like that, and I like that, where it's just like, we're not going to spend long on any one thing. We just kind of move quickly, and it feels good that way.
Yeah. Keep it high value, since it does come with a cost getting all the people in the company synchronized at once, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think of it a little bit like a talk, where it's like, ideally you're sort of changing something every few minutes so that anyone that's like tuned out or bored with this particular segment can kind of like come back in as things change.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun doing like almost like a mini talk for people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I have in flight that I'm kind of excited about is, so we have this big release that we're getting ready to do soon that Spencer and Mikey have been working on, which is like a massive overhaul of like the guts of Tuple. So the part in particular that they've been working on is signaling, meaning like starting a call, adding a person to a call, what happens when one side drops, what happens when another person reconnects, all this sort of like back and forth and state management of call status. And was previously like probably the gnarliest part of the code base. And they went in and like really overhauled the crap out of it. And brought it up to snuff, which is very exciting. And like it turned into this, like they said, it turned into like a hydra, where it's like, oh, we got to fix this thing, and that means we have to fix this over here. Oh, that means this depends on this, and like they just kind of kept spreading. There's just like so many pieces of the code that like cared about what was going on, and there was a lot of complexion and things like that. So it was quite an effort. I think this was probably like 5 or 6 weeks of work, but we're getting ready to ship it, and it has this sort of funny thing where it's like. So like we fixed like a bunch of like race conditions, a bunch of bugs. The app is actually a little snappier because it like throws things on queues and like does them async, whereas before it might have blocked the main thread. So it's like a lot of like sort of subtle improvements. But if you look at the UI and you look at what you can do, it's kind of like, oh, nothing has changed in a way. So I want to kind of counter that, like, what have these guys been up to feeling
right.
with this latest release? I'm going to record a video with Mikey and do like a walkthrough of the PR, of this massive PR to the app. Yeah. And it's kind of like, again, like leverage the fact that our customers are kind of like us. And in the past, people have responded very, very positively to like when I've like written a lot of detail in emails, like talked about the technical challenges. So we're going to kind of do like a PR tour almost and talk about what went into this.
That's cool. Yeah, I think your customers will definitely appreciate that, nerding out over the internals of the tool that they're using. Yeah,
that's cool. I hope so too. I think it'll at least answer the like why, like what happened here, like did you do any work? They'll be like, yes, look at this this diff stat. Look how many added and changed lines there are. Work was put into this. We're moving forward.
So this work got kind of shaped and slated to be put on the docket. Were you expecting this to be a 6-week-long project, or did you get partially into it and realize at a certain point that this was becoming, longer than expected, or like what did that kind of planning process look like?
It's a bit fuzzy because our processes are not like amazingly well defined right now, honestly. Mm-hmm. My recollection, which is, by the way, I'm not good at recalling things. So like, according to my memory, Joel will probably take lots of umbrage with this. But anyway, as I remember it, we started off with this goal of like, if someone loses an internet connection while a call is happening, and then it comes back, we should reconnect the call, because this actually happens fairly frequently, believe it or not. Like you just lose, it's just gone, connection gone, and then back. So we want to handle this gracefully. And it was like, okay, well that gets into the signaling code. And if we're going to do that, well, we should change this little bit over here and this little bit over here. And it kind of like snowballed from there. And there actually was pretty good communication, like from Spencer and Mikey being like, this is turning into a bigger thing, but like it's the right thing to do overall, this is like the right long-term change to make. This code is gnarly and we should fix it. And so the bigger goal is more important here than this individual feature. We want to have like a solid base to work from. And so we didn't even really set we didn't quite set an explicit. Did we set an explicit deadline? We might have. I think we wanted to get this shipped last month, to be honest, but it wasn't near ready. And then even like I think we were hoping to ship this a little bit earlier, even in September. And then we're pushing it back just a little bit. So it slipped, of course, like most development projects, or it was bigger than we expected, but that's kind of how it goes. I don't feel bad about it at all because it's like, this feels like one of those like foundational things to work on that is important. Feels slow is fast.
A lot of the really impactful initiatives that we took on with Drip, to me, like seemed to fall in this type of category where like, I want to be able to scope out exactly how long it's going to take, but really it's going to take what it's going to take. And that's probably one of the biggest like struggles I've had with trying to reconcile that with like the very like Basecamp 37 Signals, like 6-week cycle type of flow, where it's like, oftentimes it felt like the things that moved the business forward the most were really hard to fit into that kind of mold. And it never really presented a problem because, especially when we were small, it's not like we had, a bunch of departments kind of like waiting on us to meet a certain deadline to be able to do their thing. Like we were just sort of all moving in the same direction and all on the same page about everything. So like it wasn't as important to set, hard deadlines and stick to it and stuff like that. But yeah.
It might have been a good idea to set a 6-week deadline on it and be like, look, scope this way and feel free to do what you want in this time box, but this is like when we want this to go out the door. That might have been actually a good forcing function, honestly, to prioritize. But in this case, it felt pretty okay to me to just kind of let Spencer and Mikey like use their judgment and tell me like, look, we're going to do the whole thing. And like, if we keep finding other places it touches, we're just going to keep fixing those too. And then someday this is going to be awesome. And it's going to be like, great to work on. And having been a developer myself, I can understand this, like, and the desire to like to go to like 100%, like to clean up all of the mess all at once. And I tried to be kind of like a good stakeholder person, where it's like I'm picturing like, okay, we're waiting effectively, but like there's good stuff at the end of this. Like there's going to be other features that are unlocked by this. I know we'll go faster later because of it. I'm not going to get antsy and start being, start annoying people about wrapping stuff up before they feel like they're ready.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. It feels good to know you did it right instead of like lopping off or leaving a bunch of like technical debt hanging around because you didn't want to fix it in the name of moving fast. It's yeah.
Yeah. And that alignment section of the all hands that was maybe lame or something. The way I'm thinking about this current time period is sort of that we're getting our feet under us. We're mastering the basics right now. It's like there's certain parts of the app that just like are sort of their MVP version from a while back before we understood what it was shaped like and how it was going to work. And if we never go back and change that stuff, we're just going to be fighting against that tech debt for a long time, and that feels crappy. It's sort of key to being especially reliable. Like if you start a call with somebody and they can't hear you, or like you try to call someone and it crashes, it's just like, well, like who cares how good the rest of the features are if like the very basic things don't work. And this is part of the basic things got to work. So, yeah. And so I'm biding my time, I guess. I'm trying to be patient. I mean, like, okay, like sometime in the future, we will switch back into like, all right, innovation, improve things, new feature mode kind of mode.
Yeah. So how scary is a big release like this? I mean, a lot of the guts were touched here, and you're shipping a native client and it's hard to write automated tests around it. Do you feel like your process is...
Yeah. So a few things. So one is actually a big part of this PR is tests.
Nice.
So Mikey figured out some ways to write some automated tests for this, which is phenomenal because like it'll do things like create a fake call, have 2 people start a call, add a third person, simulate the third person's internet dropping out, simulate them reconnecting. He found a way to like really do some good stuff there. So the automated test coverage from this has gone up a good bit, which is another great long-term investment I'm really excited about. Also, we've been working with a QA firm, and so we've having them like run through our builds before they go out so that they catch quite a bit of stuff. They're very thorough. And then also we have started using like the staging version ourselves for calls. Actually, I should have done that with you. You and I are on Tuple call right now. I should have used staging. I forgot. But next time we should use that. So, a little dog fooding too, just to catch the little stuff. There's still some nervousness, like, we'll see. We're still expecting kind of I'm sure we'll have some issues once it goes live. And that's actually one reason we're holding off on releasing it for a little bit, is because Mikey's on vacation. And it's like, when this goes out, we want everyone here.
Yeah.
Especially if you helped write it. It's like, all right, all hands on deck. Let's watch and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Crash reporting and logging and analytics and metrics and things like that are all like pretty decent. So we can usually on a release get a pretty good sense pretty fast. Like, okay, are there any catastrophic things? No. And then we can kind of watch other indicators and like call quality indicators, report sort of how the calls are going themselves. So there's a decent amount of like instrumentation.
Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff that just gets better and better over time as you start adding more and more logging, more and more instrumentation. And that's kind of one of those benefits of being around for a little while, is your systems kind of get more resilient in that way. So
totally. Yeah. Man, software is just hard. Good software is like, it's a really hard thing. Even if you're trying really hard and like pretty smart and like you can still just like, it takes so long and so much effort and sustained work to like make something really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Amen to that. Yeah. I feel that. Especially because I'm building a tool right now where it's like a good part of my differentiation is just trying to like improve upon the state of the art a little bit, and just like make things feel more intuitive. And like when you log in, a lot of the subtleties should be better and make it a less frictiony environment. And it takes a lot to actually improve upon like kind of the lazy way to implement things, and then like the quote unquote right way or best way to do it is often like an order of magnitude different in time. So figuring out like where to budget that time, it's tricky,
That's the brutal part of competitors, I guess, is like wherever the current bar is sort of like the base. It's like, okay, get to here to start. But what you're really going for is, a serious leap above that, so as to justify your existence and convert people. So it's a challenge. Industries with crappy competitors, that's where you want to be.
I know. A friend of mine likes to say, like, you got to stop selling like better software to really smart people, like because that is, the bar is very high, which I don't know. I mean, that's kind of how I always end up finding myself there, but maybe that's where I'm destined to be.
There's not a lot of people who should live there, but you have the chops to live there, I think.
Yeah. I hope so.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of which, what have you been up to?
Well, yeah. So one of the bits that I couldn't quite talk about last week was kind of I would say all in all about a week-long distraction and kind of a gut-wrenching thing to go through, which was the decision to rebrand the app from SavvyCal, sadly. So it has a shiny new name. SavvyCal is now SavvyCal.
Oh.
And this basically came at the advice of a trademark attorney that I had consulted with, just as part of my due diligence, to see like, do I need to be concerned about other people with similarly named products in the space? Ultimately his advice was like, I mean, none of this stuff is ever black and white. It's always on a gradient of like, what are the potential risks? What are the potential areas? If someone were to challenge your use of the mark, like, and he broke it down into like 7 different categories and kind of ranked risk on each axis. And so, employing experts is always a good idea in these types of situations. And he gave me a comprehensive picture, and I ultimately decided like, it's not worth it. Like fighting these things, like if someone does challenge, it's basically a no-go unless you're ready to drop high 6 figures on legal expenses. So
whoa. Okay.
It's not something you want to mess around with,
So there's something called Mighty that's software that's too close that would potentially be a problem.
Yep, too close.
Gotcha. Okay.
Naming things these days, I feel like there's an app for everything with almost every English word used in it. So it's kind of hard to find one that's never been used. And so there are, of course, other tools that have the word savvy in them. But, this one was distant enough. So it did clear, and was able to nab the .com for it. And I feel pretty good about it. I have alternative spellings. That was the other, my big concern with this one. I kind of liked the way it rolls off the tongue. It had a lot going for it. I was a little concerned about the misspelling of the word savvy because it has 2 V's in it. But I have a bunch of alternative misspellings that redirect. So I think that'll kind of help with that.
That's good.
Yeah.
We actually redirect from tuple.app to tuple.app. So
yeah. 2 P's.
No,
Is
no,
that
I'm
what Tuple
just
is?
making a joke.
You could though. It's a cheap form of insurance.
No. It's the same. It's the same letters.
Oh, I see. Well, yeah.
People just pronounce it that way. And I saw a Twitter poll which is like, how do you pronounce it? Like Tuple or Tuple? And like Tuple won by a lot. And I was like, oh no. So
I mean, is that a legitimate pronunciation, or is
Yes.
it definitively Tuple?
No. There's no definitive. They're both correct.
Oh gosh. Well.
Yeah. So we went with the one that we prefer, which apparently is actually much less common. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah. I'm doomed to hear people pronounce the company name correctly, and yet not how I would do it.
Yeah. Well, that's your get drip cross to bear.
Oh yeah, Get Drip. Totally. Yeah. I think I still think of it as Get Drip, actually.
Really?
A little bit.
Oh, that was just the worst, man, when people would like write an article and they'd be like, I have this cool new tool I want to tell everyone about. It's called Get Drip. Oh, no.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I guess, yeah, that would be worse. I'm glad we don't have that.
Yeah.
I can live with Tuple. They're not wrong. So I do have this thing where if I'm on a call with someone and they start saying Tuple, I will say Tuple.
Oh, interesting.
Because I'm not like trying to correct them, you know?
Yeah.
So if I say it first, I'll say Tuple. But if they say it first and say Tuple, I'm like, all right, well, it's Tuple now. I'll roll with you.
That's nice restraint instead of giving them a nice, well, actually, it's Tuple.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
This was a thing we were aware of when we were considering the name. This was one in the like negatives column was this problem. But oh well.
Yep. Yeah. So
SavvyCal.
that was SavvyCal. So I have to get used to it. I have to redirect in my own brain to start, saying it correctly all the time. But yeah, so scrambled kind of a bit, threw together some new branding and stuff. I feel pretty good about it. And ultimately, this is the right time to do it. I mean, I haven't thankfully invested too much into the brand aside from talking about it here and building the, landing page and such. So if there's ever a right time, it's now.
Yeah. You registered the trademark for the new thing?
Well, actually, that usually comes later anyways.
Oh,
like
really?
you begin using it in commerce, and you have to use it in commerce before you can do that. So
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. But I don't know. Honestly, I'm not that worried about officially federally registering the trademark. Probably will at some point, but
I mean, you certainly want to avoid this again, right? So
well, yes. Yeah. Right.
But so like someone else, like if you don't, someone else could, and then you'd be in the same situation, right?
Yes and no. I mean, if I'm first to use this, so even if someone came in and tried to register it, they wouldn't be able to if I was already like using it and technically hadn't even registered it, I think. Because in the United States, at least, I think you get a certain degree, obviously speaking as not a lawyer, you get a certain degree of like implicit trademark protection just by nature of like using a mark, but it's stronger if you federally register it. But you still, as soon as you start using a brand, it's you like earn some rights to it that other people can just start stepping on. So
okay, cool.
Yeah,
all right, SavvyCal. I just pulled open the site and I saw my avatar, and I was like, how do you know it's me?
Yes,
right.
You're the only one that will have that question when you arrive there. Alas, it is a static photo of Ben.
Yeah. I have some user feedback that is valid only for one person on Earth.
Yes.
Perfect. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a fun, non-distracting, great use of time that really moved the business forward.
Yep, exactly. And that's why it was so agonizing in large part. I mean, part of it's like, I put in all this effort into this name and I got the domain and I felt really good about it. And now stepping back into this arena didn't feel good. And then once I kind of settled on the name, then I was like, great, now I have to, run through a checklist of 30 different items now to officially complete this rebrand. And the biggest things, honestly, I was concerned about were my hard-earned integration approvals with Google and Zoom, because this required both of them to basically reapprove, give me the green light once again, changing URLs and metadata and stuff. So I was a little bit concerned, like, worst case scenario, this could be another couple of weeks waiting before I can, keep moving forward. Thankfully, both of them were very, very prompt and didn't make me jump through a bunch of hoops. So I was very thankful for that.
That's great. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's behind you.
So that is behind me officially. I'm kind of feel like this week now I'm like I officially deployed this on Monday. So I have a few like little remaining checklist items I need to like. I notified all my customers, people using the app, of course, and now I just need to do a little bit more communication. I'm not making a big deal about it, you know. I don't feel like this is not something I'm going to be trying to make a huge deal out of, but I will send a note to anyone who signed up like, by the way, communications will be coming from a different name. So a few little things like that, but otherwise kind of back to actual real product stuff.
Cool. So how's the usage looking?
It's good. Yeah, everyone who's in is using it. I did a few demos last week and need to nudge a few people to officially create their account, but got good feedback from the demo to them. So yeah, I should have another couple folks at least hopping on this week, hopefully by the end of week. I've been investing a good chunk of my time into like really making the self-serve onboarding flow as smooth as possible and kind of incorporating what I'm learning from doing the manual demos. And I sent out a few emails today to some people who had filled out the early adopter survey, basically saying like, if you're ready to go, you know, in the next couple of days, I want to send you a link and have you run through the onboarding flow without me demoing it for you, and then kind of get your feedback. So kind of start to dip my toe into that and see if people get confused, see if it feels clear, and yeah, kind of start validating how that's working. So
I guess what's the motivation behind getting away from the concierge onboarding for now?
I mean, I think it's still worth doing, but it doesn't scale that well. Like, and it's a major distraction when I have these on days. You know, I don't really get. It usually like kind of destroys the time in and around when those calls happen, and it's sort of a practical concern of like I want to start being able to run more people through at a higher rate, but also can't just like put the brakes on all like product development because I have a lot of stuff that I need to be working on too. So
yeah, okay.
So yeah, that's sort of what it is.
That's true. I forget that you're a team of one. Like we were doing this for a bit longer, but it's like, yeah, if no one else can be working when you're doing these calls, that's definitely, yeah. And I'm well aware of how a call or two can pretty much wreck a day in terms of like deep coding work. So.
Yeah. So I think ideally, like even if, you know, if I had just one or two other teammates, then we could be doing these things in parallel, and someone's full job could just be doing these onboarding demos.
So you should raise some money.
Yeah. Well, and that's a question. Like, when is the right time to hire some help to do that? And, or do I try to get to launch, get to some real significant revenue, get those wheels rolling before, you know, adding headcount? Always decisions, but it's at the place where I think I could potentially invite, you know, several hundred people at least and get a couple hundred people actively using the product, get some revenue flowing in, and then I could always go back to doing, you know, hand-holding demos and stuff. But I think it's at the place where I can do that. So
that actually kind of brings up an interesting question to me, which is, do you think of the tiny seed money as runway for you to work on this for a longer time, or like ammunition to bring on a person faster and test the idea quicker and maybe move quicker?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I have looked at it historically as just only ammunition money. And so for a while, for my first, you know, 9 months or so, I was not drawing out of that to pay myself. And my thinking on that has evolved a little bit. It's like part of doing this sustainably is not just purely, you know, living off of personal savings. Like this is a company that I'm investing all my time into, and I'm going to go ahead and start using some of that runway because I'm a legitimate cost for the business, you know, and and that's part of the agreement I set up with my investors was that, you know, part of this money is to you know, offset a little bit of my personal burn. So, you know, I'm willing to risk it, I think, for hiring a little bit ahead of revenue once I feel like I'm within reach of offsetting that with real revenue and not like running the business bank account down to zero while I like have someone and I still can't cover their salary, if that makes sense, you know? So yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah. That feels in line with what I would guess the sort of tiny seed vibe is is like, this is not like a go for broke, go as fast as you can, and then burn it all up, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, versus like, this lets you stay on this with like a reasonable, hopefully sustainable owner draw kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then maybe also use some of it for speeding up if you're feeling like there's a decent path to profitability or ramen, right. I guess.
Yep. Yeah. As soon as it's default alive, covering my own expenses with revenue, if there's money left in the piggy bank, then it's all right. Let's start making leveraging this capital.
Cool.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Or you could like go buy a vanity.com and some swag and throw a party. I guess you can't throw a party right now.
Yeah, it's COVID, man. I can't throw a party. Come on.
Okay, fine. What do startups do when they want to have like an ostentatious, look how much money we raised kind of showing when they can't throw a big party?
Yeah, that's a good question. I should go like research what Silicon Valley's doing right now.
Yeah, we got to do that. It's important.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It's important work, man.
So we've been recording AOP over Whereby for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And Whereby's a pretty good, like, jump into a browser video call thing. But I gotta say, I think Tuple's doing a pretty good job.
It seems to be outperforming, at least.
Yeah. Normally, my fans would be spinning right now.
Yeah.
And I would be thinking like, I hope the fan's noise doesn't go bleed into my microphone so that we have to take it out in post. But my computer's just chilling.
My MacBook Pro is cool as a cucumber right now.
Good job, Tuple. Way to go.
Yeah.
This Tuple thing might be all right.
It might.
Yeah. Plus, wait till you see the new refactored signaling code. Woo!
So get a look at that.
Continues to do the thing as before, plus some better edge cases. Yeah.
That sweet, sweet reliability.
Yeah. Chasing nines.
Mm-hmm.
Killing latency 1 millisecond at a time.
There you go.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else going on in your world?
I think just one other small thing to note also, like the other thing that's been drawing my time, I can't really get into too much, but
more secrets?
There's another secret. Secret. So there's going to be some announcements coming out regarding StaticKit in probably next couple of weeks, I'd say.
Okay.
Don't hold me to that. There's some stuff moving on that front, and that's about all.
I hope you raised like an $8 million seed round.
Well, we'll find out soon.
Okay. Nice. All right. Well, consider us teased.
All right. Good. That's
cool.
That's what I was going for.
Cool. All right. Well, shall we wrap it?
Let's wrap it.
Notes for the show.
Notes for the show can be found at artofproductpodcast.com.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.